I think AI is at the cutting edge of the most influential technology to humanity has ever created. And Bittensor is our opportunity to get into many of these potential rocket chips at ground zero. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I'm bringing you 3 more Subnet Alpha tokens that I think will be is extremely interesting now that I look at the data. I will talk about what they're building, how I see the price action evolving, and why I think they are very interesting alpha tokens. And then, of course, this is not financial advice. Be careful with your investments. We're pretty much doing this for fun. But I hope you will enjoy today's episode. So, I'm going to jump in and share my screen here, and we're going to go from here. Okay, guys. So first, I thought it's wise to maybe look at the TAO chart today. And I'm looking at the daily price chart right now, and as you can see, at least for the past entire week, we're seeing a downward momentum on TAO, and this essentially began right here at the very top at 463. In the last week of May, and since then, it has continuously been dropping. Though there was this big green candle which showed a lot of buying appetite, but since then it has kind of tapered. If you look at the chart at a more broader level, I see the last low that it achieved, which by the way was a great entry point, and I still beat myself because I did not enter like an idiot. But it was $167. If you would have probably entered at this price, I think it was already great. But if you look at 371, which is where it is trading right now, there seems to be at least 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7 support points, which I think is a very strong support range for a fundamentally strong AI bet like TAO. So if you're still thinking if this is the right time to enter, go for it, man. Go for it. Just think about the upside. Even if it goes back to its original all-time high, which was 748, we're still looking at at 108% return, which is kind of crazy. And this is over in a 180-day period, with all the crazy things that are happening in the US, especially with respect to the budget and other stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of new liquidity which is coming in. That liquidity is going to go into high quality fundamental driven projects, as much as there is all of this. There's this conversation around, hey, memes are the thing. I think they are, but reasonable investors, institutional investors, are definitely going to plow more money into a fundamental strong AI bet like TAO. So with that, I want to first jump into my first project that I've shortlisted for you. And this one is actually very interesting. It's called this project called Hippius. And what Hippius is essentially doing is they're offering decentralized cloud storage. And the cool thing about decentralized cloud storage, now, when you think about this project, the first project that would probably come on your heads is Filecoin. Now, Filecoin is a very old entity in the space, backed by Protocol Labs, which is one of the strongest teams in the space. And I really respect the founder, Juan, who I've met personally on a bunch of occasions. But the thing about Hippius and why I think it makes a lot of sense over something like Filecoin would probably give them a run for their machines is because their USP is kind of very interesting. Now, as I was researching about this project, I came to know that unlike Filecoin, which is where the value of storage or the utility is more archival, that is data that I want to store, but may or may not retrieve on a real-time basis if I'm building an application. Hippius is actually giving you real-time guarantees, right? So it's their responsiveness, their reliability and reputation, and the real-time data storage that really matters for modern web applications and SaaS products and what all and whatnot. So I think from that sense, Hippius makes really a lot of sense. Another cool thing I really liked about is how strong the alpha sync model is. Basically, when I say sync, I mean the utility or the consumption of that token in order to unlock more storage, more access, which I think is again really cool. Now, when I look at data, Hippius in the last, it's currently trading at an FDV of 157 million, and it's down about 7% from its high. And if we go explore its chart very quickly, so I look for Hippius here, and I'm going to show you a bunch of cool things. So yeah, it's probably down like about 6.5% now, trading at 158 million. But the cool thing about Hippius is, I think at these price points, right? If you look at this chart, there's a bunch of speculative activity happening here. Took the price to 0.02 TAO, then kind of slipped back in, and then at this point in time, it went up again to 0.2. So from a low of 0.01 to 0.2, it's currently again trending downwards. I think this is again, if you look at the support junctions here, like support points here, and here, I think this is a very good entry point for a fundamentally strong project. It was also recently, I think, tweeted by Mog Machine. Mog Machine, for those of you who don't know, is the creator of TAO Stats, which is one of the biggest companies built on top of the Bittensor ecosystem, kind of building this data marketplace and what all and what not. And they tweeted about this. And his tweet, as such a hardworking team, taken time to get it right, but it is beautiful to see it unfolding. And as I was checking through, this video, I saw that Mog is also one of the advisors to the team, and Dubs, who's the founder, actually worked at TAO Stats before. So I think the team is extremely solid. I will leave the link to this video at the bottom of this of my YouTube video. If you want, you can go in and listen in to get more insights. But for now, I think there is value to having a decentralized cloud storage where miners are competing with each other to provide more and more high quality, reliable, 99% uptime, things which are extremely important for high quality applications today. Definitely keep this on your radar. It's Subnet 75 Hippius. Just go to tao.app, search for Subnet 75 Hippius, and you will find you can trade from right here if you want. Okay, so with that, I now want to take you to the next one, which is tensorprox. Now, tensorprox is actually extremely cool. What tensorprox is trying to do, and the name of the project is Shugo, but the subnet's name is tensorprox. So if I open tensorprox for you guys right now, and I'll show you what it is. What tensorprox is essentially trying to do is create a decentralized cybersecurity product on top of Bittensor. Now, I want you to know, and this is an extremely important and interesting statistic. It's the cybersecurity market, by the way, is close to $550 billion, right? That's the expected market for cybersecurity by 2032. Another interesting point is that corporations today or enterprises today are losing approximately $30,000 an hour to DDoS attacks. So what they're trying to do with Subnet 91 is create a competition for miners where they are generating synthetic DDoS attacks, which is basically they're trying to attack websites or applications who are their customers. And these miners are competing to find unique, innovative ways to stop these attacks. And as they do it, this information kind of goes back into the subnet and it helps improve the product. I think this is a very interesting way because DDoS is probably one of the top cybersecurity attacks in the way that it happens and or is executed. If you look at the chart itself, on a 30-minute indicator, you can already see five straight green candles, and there is a huge buy volume right here. In the last 24 hours, the buy volume has been over $200,000. So clearly, the interest is kind of going back up, and the all-time high for this was almost 0.0077 TAO. So we're already looking at a 40% upside from current prices. So definitely a no-brainer. I think cybersecurity is a huge market. There is going to be demand for a product like this. The fact that enterprises are losing so much money and centralized competitors are a lot more expensive. I think this is going to be like a really, really cool product which could compete with centralized firms on factors like decentralization, cost, flexibility, and powered by a global, miner base running on this incentive network. So TensorProx is definitely a top project for me, both in terms of how much value it can accrue to itself as an alpha token, and the upside it can generate if it starts capturing, even a 0.1% share of the global cybersecurity market in time forward. And I'm sure these net new innovations being built on Bittensor are a much better product delivery in comparison to the centralized alternatives. Okay, guys, so next one that I want to bring you is actually not an AI product, but it's this company called BitAds. Now, what BitAds is trying to do is, is actually really cool. It's basically operating in the ad tech or advertising tech space, and so what it does is it is creating competitions where miners are competing to create performance marketing campaigns on behalf of a client. Now imagine this client could be a Shopify store. It could be a D2C brand operating on Instagram today. These companies are spending tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars through SEO, paying to Google ads, or running ads on social media platforms. But the thing about running those ads or running an influencer campaign is that you're paying money for outcomes that aren't clear, right? May or may not generate clear value to you. Because what's clear value to a D2C brand or a Shopify store? It's number of sales that happen. And so that's the cool part, because these campaigns are not tied to impressions or clicks. These campaigns are tied to actual real sales. And I think that's an incredible value proposition, because when I'm paying, I know I'm getting dollar returns for every dollar that I'm spending on BitAds as an enterprise client or as a D2C brand, which makes the project exceedingly interesting for me. So if I kind of go back to the TAO app and show you the chart for this project really quickly. So we're looking at, right, so let me search for BitAds here for a second. Yes, as you can see, in the last 1 month, the price is already up 6%. There is approximately $40,000 of volume in the last 24 hours. The price is kind of going sideways at this point. It has already increased quite a bit from its previous range that was happening. But I still believe, like, even if you look at the current FDV of 30 million and the global ad tech market, which is probably trillions of dollars, because that's the bread and butter for large companies. I feel like there is utility for a solution like this at scale, at tech, on a decentralized technology like Bittensor, where miners are being incentivized in TAO to run high quality campaigns, which are being validated by miners, would probably unlock new products, use cases that I can't even imagine right now. A cool innovation as an aside, which I think you should know about, is agentic commerce protocols, where tomorrow we're talking about this future where AI agents would essentially have their own products and would be dealing with other AI agents and buying and selling stuff. And I think a decentralized ad tech framework allowing these guys to tap into that network to run incentivized campaigns in order to drive increased revenue or ARR or sales for their products, their digital offerings, could be humongous for this subnet. So, of course, it's an extremely risky bet. I think there's a lot of moving parts here that they need to solve. But early indicator and data, and you should definitely go and check out their website. which is right here, you should go in and look at these campaigns, and you will see how these miners are performing, how much sales are the companies who are running these programs able to generate. As you can see, there's a bunch of different products and stores that they've already run these programs for, and you should explore these statistics to get a more insightful, intentful insight into this product. Now, I want to end this conversation, although I just wanted to show you these three, but I have to show you a bonus subnet that I found earlier today, which I think is extremely interesting. And if I kind of go back here and go back to the homepage on TAO app, you will see that one of the top gainers in the last day was this subnet called Omron, right? Subnet 2, which is up 14% in the last 24 hours. And in terms of liquidity, it is also right there at the very top. It's one of the most liquid subnets in the market. The reason liquidity is extremely important is because it creates market depth and leads to less price slippage. So you're able to get better trades. The volume is almost 2.2 million for this one. And you can see like 5 or 6 straight by huge green candles in the last like 4 trading hours before people started profit booking again. I think the support price is right here, so you can still wait on buying. But why I think this caught my attention is because DSV, which is an early stage fund focused on distributed AI infra, has just made a $50,000 OTC investment in Inference Labs, which is the team behind this subnet. And what was their reasoning behind doing so? They said that Omron is solving a simple but hugely important problem. How do you know you can trust an AI model's answer? Not just whether the answer is useful, but whether it came from the right model in the right place. And they're doing this by using something known as zero knowledge technology. Now, when I think about this problem, it's one of the most talked about problems in the AI space. Like, if I'm spending hundreds of dollars to get access to a model, how do I know the responses that I'm receiving is from the model that they are saying it is referring to, right? Today, most of these centralized companies are running a black box. So I essentially have to trust the information that they show me. But there is no mathematical process for me to verify this. And so Omron does the same for AI because it gives you a cryptographic proof that your answer came from the model you wanted without anything being swapped or tampered with along the way. And they do this by using this novel technology called zero knowledge machine learning. Now, zero knowledge, for those of you who don't know, is a cryptographic mathematical technology that allows you to prove or verify something without actually revealing the underlying data. And this is actually crucial because it's a clever way to verify an AI's output without revealing the data or the model itself. So you don't have to reveal the weights, you don't have to reveal the model, but I can give you a mathematical guarantee, which is kind of like, math magic. And it allows you to kind of figure this out, which I think has strong enterprise use cases. And you should definitely keep Omron on like your top 3 Subnet Alpha token lists. All right, guys. I hope you had fun on today's episode. I know I had a lot of fun. There's a lot of really cool things happening in the Bittensor ecosystem and the larger decentralized AI space. If you're interested, follow along this channel, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe, because when you subscribe, the YouTube algorithm shares it with more people. I'm not doing it for money. I've been in crypto for the last 4.5 years as an operator, and I've seen the space in depth, up close. And I just want to share my insights on how I look at the market and how you should be thinking strategically, not just in terms of, the next shiny coin that you can buy, but really stuff that you can hold in 2030, 2035, 2040. So you sit back and relax and slowly let the market take care of your investments. With that, it's a wrap on today's episode. I'll see you again soon. Sayonara.